Dit is Oceanzailing, de podcast, aflevering 15... met een exclusief interview met Pip Hare vanaf de oceaan... door Ysbrand Endt, opgenomen op tweede kerstdag.
Yeah, a smiling face as always, Pip.
Well, yeah. I mean, despite everything, I'd still rather be here.
Yeah. No, and I'm still jealous of you not being there next to you. Well, not on your boat, obviously, but on another boat.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all part of
And
it.
that is. And I'm when you did this mast, I really went back to my dismasting about 14 years ago. And I could really relate to your feelings at that moment. And you're really going through all the phases which you have been describing yourself in your videos. It was, it was really bringing me back to old times.
Yeah, it's horrible, and to do it, you know, where I was pretty much halfway around the track is... everything about it is awful, and I think it's always going to be a painful kind of story in my history. But there's a lot to process, and then kind of being, 800 miles from anywhere and needing to self-rescue as well. I think in a way, though, kind of having to get myself out of this situation has really given me a lot of time to kind of process through everything and sort my head out, really.
Yeah, I could see you're going through those phases from total disbelief to acknowledge you have to fight to bring yourself home, and then feeling better when things starts to work out as you have been planning, and still have to deal with the feeling that this was the end of your Vendée for this time.
Yeah. It's sad.
Yeah, it is. So I understand you're working on getting your spare mast down to Australia, or are you planning to put your boat onto a cargo back to Europe and put her there together? What's your plan?
Well, my kind of initial thoughts was that I wanted to get the spare mast down here, but actually looking at the costs and the logistics of it's just not going to work. But the other thing is that, the IMOCA season starts in May 2025. And, I have kind of said I want to be on the start line in 2028. And we know qualification now is pretty hard. And so most important for me now is going to be getting the boat back into racing conditions so that I can get out and bank some miles in 2025, which means that sailing back from Melbourne, by the time we'd got kind of rig and sails down here and put it together, I think it wouldn't be the most expedient way of doing things. And the other thing as well is I do have some damage to one of my foils too. Sadly, we're going to have to ship the boat home, I think.
Yeah, and then take the foils off and rebuild them. Can it be rebuilt, or do you have to renew it?
That was a big wave. That was a very big one.
So how much wind do you have now?
I would say it's getting up to 40 knots now. Sea state is definitely 5 meters. Yeah, it's going to get worse overnight. I'm beam on at the moment, and I kind of wanted to stay beam on for as long as I could, just because that's putting me in the right direction. But the waves are starting to break.
Yeah, and you have to make the corner. I saw the corner of the first lighthouse. I looked up the name, but I forgot it.
Way.
Yeah, Point Line still. Oh no, the other one. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but
Point
actually, I think probably in 3 or 4 hours, I'm gonna jibe and just do a little offshore leg again.
Okay.
I've been advised that round the Capes it can get kind of even gnarlier. So I just don't need to put myself in that situation. I'll just do a little hitch offshore. This will all blow through quite quickly, and then I can make my final approaches kind of tomorrow, day after.
Yeah, because I saw when it's about 170 miles or so to the entrance of the Bay of Melbourne.
From now, I've got 120 miles.
Oh, 120. Okay, yeah. Of course, I don't have your exact position on the charts, so I was just kind of hoping. Yeah, well, 120 miles. And you're doing 6 knots or so now?
I'm doing, it's average 4.5 to 5.5.
Yeah.
I took the trysail down earlier today, so it's just storm jib.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the boat's going, all things considered, the boat's going pretty well. But I just need to just make sure I just preserve things. I don't need to do any more damage.
No, of course not. Of course not. So when your mast did tumble down, it fell basically onto the foil, or how is your foil damaged? What do you think?
Yeah, it fell just behind the foil. And initially, I thought I'd got away without damaging the foil. But it's just the trailing edge has been damaged. It's not too bad, but it does make me sad looking at it.
Yeah. Well, trailing edge can be pretty easily be repaired. It's not like you have to. Yeah. Well, you can't say anything for the moment until you have looked at it from close look. No, I understand. So 120 miles, and people are awaiting you at the entrance of the bay, I hope.
Yes, yeah. So we were contacted. So I've actually got 2 of my friends, Paul Larson and Helena Darvelid. They were in Melbourne anyway, because that's where Paul's from, and they were spending Christmas with his family.
Oh, wonderful.
So as soon as they heard I dismasted, they just kind of started contacting people on my behalf. And then an amazing man called Simon Dryden from the Ocean Racing Club of Victoria has just waved a magic wand and made everything happen. I've got a 60-foot powerboat with a support tender that's coming out to meet me. They're bringing fuel. They're going to pilot me in through the Port Phillip's heads because it's I think you can get up to 8 knots of tide there and shifting sand and stuff. So they're going to pilot me in through there. They've organised a berth in the Melbourne City Marina.
Wow.
Everyone has been so incredibly kind and are in regular contact with me, and just it's kind of the special end to this story. Really, is just the kindness of strangers, you know.
Yeah. It really strikes me. I'm really happy that so much people are helping you out, and it's like the sailing community is just giving a hand to anybody who has a problem, and you are now the person in problem, and so many people helping you out. I'm really struck by it. It's wonderful to hear. Really wonderful to hear.
Yeah, it is. I'm kind of a little bit. I think it's going to be a bit tough being kind of immersed into a load of people, you know, because I've chosen when I talk about how I'm feeling about it, and you know, obviously I don't have to talk about things with a load of people I don't really know, but you know, Paul and Helena will be there, so there's a couple of friendly faces, and yeah, it's just, I feel very humbled by how kind everyone's being.
Yeah. And then you say it's the end of your journey, but to me you're just halfway there. You need to do so much work to be in 6 months where you want to be.
And that's, you know, that's the beginning. It's and the last 10 days, you know, I've been pretty much working around the clock. It's been quite productive with time zones, but exhausting as well, because you know, during the day I've been looking after the boat, and I've been surprised as to how much there was for me to do on board. You know, if you choose to be proactive, I was busy all day, and then of course I was making my slow boat videos as well, which just kind of, you know, just helped me share a little bit about it doesn't just end, you know, there is an aftermath, and I just decided I wanted to share that. And then when it got dark, kind of the UK was waking up, so I've been just trying to work through plans of getting the boat back. You know, we need to find funding, all of those sorts of things. So I've kind of been working a 24-hour day. But you know, we're down the bottom of a mountain again, and the only way to get to the other side is to climb. So that's what we're doing. Yeah,
and that's what you're good at also, and that's how we've met, basically. You climbing the mountain from, I don't know how long ago
it's
now,
just a
maybe.
shame I keep falling back down again, isn't it?
Well, you went down at least halfway there in a miraculously fast way, and you came a long way, Pip, and you made it a long way. Now, just the third one will be your victory, I'm sure. And we're not. This is not the last of it. I'm hoping to hear from you and seeing you, and I'm sure you're gonna be fighting your way all up again. But it's not easy.
I'm not done, Ish. I'm not done. And
Good.
And you know,
Good to hear.
I did have some pretty low moments after I dismasted, believing that I was done, because you know, it takes the most immense amount of energy to make these projects happen. You know, there's only a small proportion of sailors who get selected to be the skippers for professional teams, but you know, the rest of the people who have projects out there, they have made it happen themselves, and the energy that requires all day, every day for 4 years, the energy, the discipline, the vision, you know, the struggle, it is way more exhausting than the race itself. And so, you know, I guess after I dismasted, I did kind of question whether I had the energy to carry on. Because, you know, to go into a third cycle from where we were is, you know what you're committing to. But actually, after a couple of days, I can still feel, and you know, I've always had this like fire in me, and I can still feel it there. It's still smouldering away, and I'm not done. This can't be it. It can't be it, because I know I've got so much more to give, and I know that I was just, you know, I know the potential. I was so excited by the Pacific. I could see opportunity in the Pacific. You know, I never felt like I was tired and I was done, and I know I can do it better, and I know I can do it differently. You know, I've already mapped out all the things that we're going to change and how we're going to try new things, and I'm excited by it again, so I can't stop. I'm an addict.
Well, that's so good to hear, Pip. I can see your enthusiasm getting through to my side of our video call. So when I lost my mast, I was also so angry with myself, because I thought I made a mistake, which in the end I didn't. How did you cope with it? I was just looking for an answer in any way I could. How did you go through that moment there? Did you look at it?
I mean, there is an immense amount of guilt. You know, you feel guilty because you feel like you've let so many people down.
Exactly.
You know, my team in particular, my sponsors, you know, all the people who donate to our crowdfund. I just feel like I let people down, and then you are, of course, looking for a reason. And I don't know that it was anger. I think it was more, I was more scared that it was me. But kind of immediately as it happened, in my tech support were incredible, and they both said to me, they were both really, really clear. This is not your fault. This is not your fault. You know, they said it so many times, and I didn't believe them.
No.
But I spoke to spoke, well, I talk quite a lot to Sam Goodchild. We've kind of come up through the system together. And
Nice.
Sam's a good friend. And I was next to him while he dismasted on the New York Vendée. And I talked to him quite a bit after he dismasted. And so, you know, I've spoken to him now in this situation. And kind of what happened to him, I think, is quite similar to what happened to me, in that I can't pinpoint any failure. It wasn't a swivel, it wasn't a tack line, you know, I can't pinpoint any failure. Potentially it was just a tube. And that's kind of what happened to him as well. You know, I went through this checklist of, was this, you know, were my deflectors on? How much sail did I have up? What was the angle? You know, you go through this whole checklist, and everything is, it's normal. Everything is normal. There is nothing abnormal. And so, you know, I kind of have just come to the terms that it was just one of those things. And if you look across the IMOCA fleet, you know, on average in a season, between 5 and 10, maybe 7%, I think, of the fleet dismast in a season.
Yeah.
And it was just my turn.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it was new mast. I put a new mast in May.
Yeah.
So
I understood that.
it was just unlucky, I think.
Yeah, well, 7% means 1 or 2 of the whole fleet each year loses a mast.
Yes, yeah, well, it's more than that now.
More even, yeah.
Yeah, it's more than that. It's 3 or 4 at the moment.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit, because it's not only the mast you've lost sails. You lost your mainsail, I take it, and probably 1 or 2 foresails. I see it in your face.
No, I had 3 sails up.
3 sails up. Yeah, so your mainsail
J0, J2, J3,
and all gone. All gone.
And of course all the rigging as well, and the top swivels on the mast. Yeah, there's a huge amount. Yeah,
huge amount. So much more than just the mast and the rigging, the standing rigging. It's so much more, and that is, I know what it costs. We both know what it costs. That is that's so painful for the for your whole campaign. So
but that's, you know,
that's what
the
it
other
is.
thing is that's the level of the sport that we're at. You know, the IMOCA class the IMOCA class is, you know, it's the top of the solo ocean racing world. You know, we're racing these massively technical, high performance beasts. You know, it has a price tag that goes with the kind of reputation, I guess, that goes with the level of performance. Yeah,
and everything is being tested to the max at the most difficult moments and the most difficult places in the world. So that's what you signed up for. It's totally right, but still, I'm truly happy that, okay, you mentally took a blow, but physically you look quite good. Very good, actually.
Yeah, I need to get to the shore though, because I've gone from, what's really been really interesting is actually, you know, physically I was feeling really good when I dismasted. I changed my personal trainer in August this year, and we kind of radically changed the way I was training. I was doing kind of too much focus on weight training, and we changed to kind of more biometrics, you know, jumping and skipping and explosive strength. And that has made a really big difference to me. It's helped my balance a lot. It's helped me move around the boat, and I was feeling really good. But what's been noticeable is since the dismasting, my lower back has really started to give me pain, and it's because I'm not active. You know, I'm not moving around so much. I'm sitting down more, and because, you know, I'm sleeping in relatively uncomfortable positions.
Yeah, of course.
I'm fine doing that for 30 minutes at a time, but when I try and sleep like that for 4 hours, then my back starts to grumble. So yeah, it's definitely time to get to the shore.
Yeah, well, 2 to 3 days, hopefully, and then you're there.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so too. Okay. Well, Pip, thanks for this time. I would love to have you. I would love to follow your story all the way in the next month, even, because I think the things you're gonna do is not often being displayed on any channel. So if you're up to it, I'm up to it to keep in contact regularly and find moments. I would love to be part of your whole story all the way to the end until your boat is back to Europe and we'll meet in person somewhere, either in France or in England, with your ship and your mast up and everything. The whole story.
Okay, sure on. Let's do it.
Good. Let's do that. So good to talk to you, Pip. Really, really good. And thanks anyway to wanting to be part of my little thing here in Holland.
Sounds like it's going well.
Yeah, it's quite going well. So we're growing up to 20,000 now,
Excellent.
which is quite a good start. And hopefully it's the start of a campaign 2028. But we'll see what happens. I'm still not saying no.
Yeah, you just got to push every door.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, and hopefully we'll be joining the 2028 year together then. Although we incredible. That would be incredible. Then we know each other for almost 20 years and still it is going to happen then. That would be awesome.
Well, I really hope so.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. Okay.
All right.
We keep in touch.
Big one.